All right, are you ready? Let's dive in. Today, we're heading to Takashima, Japan. It's basically like nature paradise. Mountains, lakes, the whole deal.
Yeah, you name it, they got it.
And our guide for this trip is a blog called Shira.
Mm-hmm.
It's got all the insider info on Takashima's natural wonders. So, our mission, if you choose to accept it,
I'm in.
is to uncover what makes Takashima so special. We'll be looking at conservation efforts, unique experiences, like what awaits those who actually venture there. Plus, we've got some fascinating details to uncover.
Okay, give me a teaser.
All right, we've got vibrant zizenso blooms, their Japanese skunk cabbage.
Oh, cool.
And get this, ancient beech forests in Kutsuki.
Sounds amazing.
Okay, let's start with the big picture. Takashima, it's a tapestry of landscapes, right?
Oh, yeah.
The blog paints this picture of mountains overlooking Lake Biwa. You've got pristine rivers, lush forests,
Yeah.
serene wetlands.
You're really setting the scene.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Trying to transport us there.
I like it.
So let's talk seasons. The blog emphasizes the seasonal beauty. Cherry blossoms in spring, of course.
Yeah.
Vibrant foliage in autumn. And then you have those snow-covered landscapes in winter.
Like a picture postcard.
Exactly. Okay, now let's zoom in on some specific spots. The blog calls them biodiversity hotspots. First up, Mount Jakadani. What's the vibe there?
It's a haven for nature lovers.
Okay, like what can you see there?
Rich vegetation, lots of animals.
Oh yeah, the blog mentioned some rare species too, right?
Yeah, some real hidden gems.
So it's prime exploring territory.
Absolutely.
Next we've got Makino Lakeside. It's where the mountains meet the lake. What happens there?
Well, think of it this way. It's not just a pretty view. This interaction, lake and mountain, is vital.
Okay, vital for what?
Water quality,
Mm-hmm.
even climate stability.
Wow, so it's all connected.
There's zip hat.
Messing with one part could have serious consequences.
Yeah, that's why those conservation efforts are so crucial.
We'll definitely dig into those later.
Yeah.
Okay, now for a spot that really caught my eye. The Zazenso wetlands.
Mhm.
What are Zazenso flowers anyway?
They're these unique flowers, kind of otherworldly.
Really?
Yeah, the blog makes them sound pretty amazing.
And these wetlands, they're special.
Oh, yeah, think of them as the kidneys of the environment.
Okay, I'm listening.
They filter water, provide habitats.
That makes sense. But the blog also mentioned collaborative efforts to protect these wetlands. So what threats are they facing?
Well, wetlands are super sensitive
And what?
changes in their environment.
Like pollution and stuff like that?
Yeah, pollution, development, even climate change.
Right, makes sense.
And when wetlands suffer, we all suffer, really.
How so?
They play a role in flood control, water purification,
Oh, wow, it's bigger than I thought.
and of course, supporting biodiversity.
So it's not just about saving pretty flowers.
Nope, it's about protecting a whole system that we rely on.
This blog is really making me think about the big picture here. Okay, let's move on to the Kutsuki Beech Forest. The blog uses the word primeval. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's like stepping back in time.
So what's the story with these beech trees?
They're ancient, been standing for centuries, and they play a huge role in the ecosystem.
Like how?
They regulate water flow, prevent soil erosion, provide habitats, the whole 9 yards.
Hearing about these ancient forests makes me realize how much we've lost. It makes preserving these places all the more crucial. Okay, what about the Kutsuki Katsuragawa Prefectural Natural Park? It sounds like it has a similar role in protecting the area.
It does. It's a dedicated conservation area.
Okay, and
It's a space for environmental education, too,
I like that.
and responsible tourism.
That's a good combo, so people can experience and learn.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, let's switch gears. Hagino Beach, what's the draw there?
It's where you get this contrast, sandy shoreline against forests and wetlands.
Oh, interesting.
It really highlights the need to balance things.
Odd things.
Conservation and tourism.
Yeah, how do we let people enjoy these places without destroying them?
It's the million-dollar question.
That's for sure.
Well,
All right, last but not least, the Hakodate Mountain foothills. What makes them stand out?
the blog mentions the wetlands there.
Okay.
They're crucial stopover points for migratory birds.
So even seemingly less dramatic landscapes can be super important.
Exactly.
All right, so we've got mountains, lakes, wetlands, forests, beaches. It's like Takashima has it all, right?
It really does.
But it's more than just the sum of its parts, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's more like a living, breathing ecosystem, Everything's connected.
Ah, that makes sense. And speaking of connections, let's talk about conservation efforts.
Yeah, that's key.
Because, what's the point of all this natural beauty if we don't protect it?
Exactly. And what's cool is that in Takashima, Conservation is like it's woven into the community.
Okay, so who's doing the work? Is it all government-led?
It's a real team effort. Citizens, local governments, NPOs, everyone's involved.
So it's a real community thing.
Definitely.
And what kind of things are they actually doing?
Well, they've got ecological monitoring programs, keeping tabs on different species and ecosystems,
Makes sense.
And they have organized cleanup efforts, too.
Oh, cool. So like removing debris from natural areas.
Exactly.
So they're taking a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah, they're not just protecting, they're actively managing these areas.
That's smart. What about invasive species? How do they handle those?
They've got programs to control and eradicate those, too.
Oh, right, because those can be a real threat.
Yeah, they can totally disrupt the balance.
And I'm guessing those programs involve a lot of science.
Oh, yeah, a lot of research and careful planning.
It's impressive how they're not just reacting to problems, they're trying to prevent them.
Exactly. That's the key to long-term sustainability.
Okay, I'm officially ready to visit Takashima now.
You and me both.
But I have a feeling it's not just about sightseeing, right?
You're right. The blog talks about experiencing Takashima, which means getting out there, engaging with the environment, the community.
So what kind of experiences are we talking about?
Well, if you're into hiking, there are tons of trails. Winding through the mountains, forests, all that.
Oh yeah, with those breathtaking views?
Exactly.
What about for, like, serious nature lovers?
Plenty of birdwatching opportunities.
Oh, cool. To spot those migratory birds we talked about.
Yeah, especially in those wetland areas.
When you said wetlands are like kidneys, I imagine those birds stopping for a drink. Like it's a giant rest stop on their migration route.
That's a great way to think about it.
So hiking, bird watching, what else?
Kayaking on Lake Biwa.
Oh, wow, that sounds amazing.
Imagine paddling along surrounded by mountains.
Pure serenity.
And if you're into culture, they've got seasonal festivals, guided tours, all sorts of things.
So it's nature and culture combined.
Complete package.
It's really inspiring how they blend natural beauty with cultural richness.
It's a special place.
It sounds like a place to disconnect, immerse yourself in a different way of life.
The blog really captures that feeling.
It's not just showcasing sites, it's about the spirit of the place.
And the people who make it so special.
Okay, so we've got diverse landscapes, biodiversity hotspots, conservation efforts, and now these amazing experiences. It's all connected, but I'm sensing you're going to tie it all together for us in a mind-blowing way, right?
Well, mind-blowing maybe not, but it really highlights this concept of interdependence.
Interdependence.
Yeah, ecologists talk about it. It's like a giant web. You tug on one strand and the whole thing's affected.
Okay, I'm picturing a web.
Right. So picture this. The water flowing down from Mount Jakadani feeds the rivers, right, which then flow into Lake Biwa.
Okay.
Those rivers and the lake support the Zazenso wetlands.
The wetlands, yeah.
And then those wetlands, along with the forests and foothills, they become like essential habitats for those migratory birds.
So it's like a chain reaction.
Kind of, but instead of linear, it's more like
multi-dimensional, like a web. Yeah. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. And the blog, it does a great job showing these connections.
Yeah.
How healthy forests impact the lake's water, for example.
Yeah.
How protecting those wetlands is crucial for biodiversity.
Right, right.
And how the local community, their actions, they directly affect the whole ecosystem.
It really shows how everything's connected.
Exactly. What happens in one spot can have ripple effects everywhere.
It's not just some isolated paradise then.
Nope. It's more like a microcosm of the bigger picture, the challenges and opportunities we face globally.
So by understanding this delicate balance in Takashima, we can learn how to protect our own environments.
Absolutely. The same principles apply everywhere. Recognizing how connected nature is, taking responsibility, working together to find solutions.
It's like Takashima is a case study for sustainable living.
In a way, yeah.
Not just protecting one place, but the systems that support all life.
Exactly, including our own.
Well said. I love how these deep dives open our eyes to these connections.
Me too. We explore amazing places, uncover hidden links. It changes how we see our role in the world, I think.
Definitely. This trip to Takashima has been eye-opening.
Oh, yeah. And the Hers blog, it deserves a lot of credit.
It does.
It's not just pretty pictures. It's a thoughtful exploration of a place where people are really connected to their environment.
You can feel the author's passion for Takashima.
Yeah, it's contagious.
I've learned so much, not just about the ecosystems, but the people protecting them.
It's inspiring.
Before we wrap up, what's one thing that's sticking with you from this dive?
I think it's the realization that even small actions can have a big impact.
Yeah.
The blog talked about individuals in Takashima making a difference through simple things, cleanup efforts, monitoring species, advocating for conservation,
It shows we all have a role to play.
even if it seems small.
Sometimes it feels overwhelming, these big environmental challenges.
It can, but focusing on what we can do, those small steps, they add up.
And that community spirit in Takashima, that's a great model.
Totally. It's not just individuals, it's about coming together, sharing knowledge, working towards a common goal.
We're all in this together, right? Okay, got to leave our listeners with something to ponder. What question would you pose to them based on Takashima?
How about this? How can understanding Takashima's ecosystems inspire us to protect our own?
Ooh, I like that.
Think about the connections, the water, the migratory paths, the web of life. These apply to our backyards, our parks, everywhere. What can we do to ensure these ecosystems thrive?
It's a great question. And everyone listening, check out the RIA blog. It's full of information and inspiration. It might spark some ideas.
Yeah, remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about those small steps, learning as we go, and never forgetting how interconnected we are.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into Takashima. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those important questions.